All right, if you're watching this video, it's because you want to make up this packet. It's chapter 3 from the Math 1B semester 1, which is really like I call it like a geometry class. And so we're going to go ahead and just go ahead and get started. So let's make sure that you put your name, make sure you put your period, and we're going to go ahead and take some notes. I want you to skip the years, at least the main bold ones. So you're gonna skip these, okay? I want you guys to fill in your notes, okay? So 1 year is 12 months. 1 year is 52 weeks. And 1 year is 365.24 days. And so we watched the video explaining exactly why it's 0.24. That's the amount of revolutions it takes for the Earth to go around the sun. Okay, so let's just say that's Earth, that's the sun. It's not a perfect 365. A lot of people think it's a quarter, but it's not a quarter. Essentially, that's why we have leap year, and every once in a while there is no leap year, and you might be expecting it, and so that's basically it. In months, 1 month equals about 4 weeks, and it's about 30 to 31 days. There is, some months are more than others. February is that one weird month where it's 28 days, but if it's a leap year, then it's actually 29. A week is 7 days. And, oh man, I forgot off the top of my head. So you got to do 7 times 24. It's 168 hours. And just notice, all these numbers are random. They're weird. Basically, what I'm trying to tell you is other than this one, actually, I mean, a month could have been less days or more days. A week could have been 8 days. And so all I'm trying to say is we made up a lot of these values. A minute is 60 seconds. 1 hour is 60 minutes. And the reason it's 60/60 is because that goes back to the Babylonians. In terms of seconds, 1 hour is 60 times 60, so that's 36, and then 2 more zeros, so 3,600 seconds is 1 hour. 1 day is 24 hours, and how many minutes? Let's see, 24 times 60. 1,440. And then in terms of seconds, you multiply that times 60, so it's 86,400 seconds every single day. So that's crazy to think about that. Now, why did I tell you to leave these alone? Is because the truth is, you don't know how many, what I was trying to paint in class, I was trying to paint a picture, is like, you don't know how many years you have left. But let's just say you have 50 years, okay? Again, we don't know, but let's just say if you got 50 years, then that means that you have 50 times 12, you have 600 months left. So years, 50 times 52, because there's 52 weeks in a year, you have 2,600 weeks. And days, 50 times 365.24, you have 18,262 days, okay? I'm already 30 years, I'm already in my 30s. I never imagined time to go by so fast. And again, I hope to live till I'm in my 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. We don't know how much time we have. And that's why in this chapter, we're doing measurements, and we start off with time. Time is one of the most important things for us to measure. That's why you guys got to be on time to your meetings. You want to show up to class on time. you need to know how you want to spend your time with like your friends, your family. Like it's just something that I didn't think about growing up, so I'm trying to give it to you guys as a resource for you to just have and make better choices in life. So this whole chapter, we're going to talk about a lot of different things: time, money, health. All right. Some of these things are really important. Relationships. But on part B over here, what we're going to do is we're going to say that this is you at 0, 10, 20, 30. So I'm at 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, and hopefully we all live up to be 110. But what kind of stuff do you guys want to do over your life? I would like to start a family like around here. You know, start family, get married. I think I'm close, you know, almost there. I'd like to retire, at least at this age. I don't know, maybe become a grandpa like over here. I don't know what else you guys want to do over here. Obviously, this is kind of like already over for me, but I went to college in my 20s. And I traveled a lot over here. So I just kind of want you guys to map out your life. Like label some of the things that you guys want to do. At least 5 things, okay? That's how I give you guys the 5 points. And then there's also another part over here. So in my 30s right now, we got winter, spring, summer, fall. So right now we already kind of passed winter, but we're already in spring. So this is the last quarter. Summer, vacation. Hopefully go to Peru and a cruise, all right? And then fall, start school again. And probably for like looping back to winter, I want to retire from city council. Retire from the city. So anyways, I'm just kind of giving you guys an idea of like how I like map out my life, and I've been doing this for like a really long time, and I think it's helped me accomplish a lot of stuff. So just kind of having like a visual idea on how you plan on, you know, spending the rest of your life. Let's flip the page over. This one's pretty easy, pretty straightforward. You're gonna find a partner, and if you don't have a partner, that's okay, but I want you guys to time yourself. So you need a stopwatch, and you guys can just use the one on your phone. Guess how long it takes you to sign your name 20 times. Guess. 20 seconds, 30 seconds, 40 seconds, and then see what's the actual time. Don't look at the clock as you're like writing it, okay? And then how long does it take you to touch each of the 4 corners in the room? This was for my classroom, but if you're at home, maybe do like your whole house, okay? How long does it take you to read a page? Pick a book, read it. How long does it take you to draw a palm tree? You can draw anything really, but for me, I said a palm tree and I gave an example. And then go ahead and answer some of these questions. Some of these you guys are gonna have to Google. You know, how long, if you walk from home, and I showed students in class how to change from walking to transit to car, or if you, because it's walk, drive, and then what about if you take the bus? And then ask a couple questions like to your parents, like how old are they? Find out, at least 2 adults. Maybe you don't know how old they are. And then what's the average lifespan? We talked about this in class too. Right now, I think it's in the 70s, high 70s, like almost 80. And then most people retire at 65, but if you're 18 and you're gonna retire at X amount, like let's just say 62, well, how much time is this? Okay, that's something for you guys to think about. So we're gonna move on to the next section. The next section is about money, and I think money is very important. It's not the most important thing in the world. I think it's like if you don't have money, then money is very important for you. Like but once you have it, it's less important. But you still have to be smart about it. You're not just because you have a lot of money doesn't mean you're just gonna keep giving it away, because that's how you lose money. So um, I'm gonna teach you guys in terms, at least like having an idea of how much money you guys need every single month, and I'm gonna give you guys also a couple other little pointers. So in this section, part A, it's important to create a monthly budget, and we want to estimate the expenses. And I gave you guys mine. In class, I told you guys, hey, my mortgage is about this much. All right. My water bill is about $100. Electricity is about 100. Gas is about 50. My car insurance and car payment, all of that, that's, whew. So my car payment's like $600. My insurance is about 200. And then I forgot to put, oh, my bad, gasoline is right there. So $800. Gasoline, I spend at least like, let's just say $250. I've been driving around a lot. I do have a pet. My pet, she's about like $60. I don't know if you heard her just meowing, but I don't have any children yet, but I would want children. So, well, I'm not going to add mine just yet. Groceries, I do spend about $500. Eating out, I spend about $500. And I did talk to students, like, I mean, if you were in class, we talked a little bit more about this, but groceries can be less if you're smart about it. There's food pantries all around the city. Eating out, I like to eat at more expensive places, so I don't normally eat like fast food. So this number is a little bit higher. Clothes, I don't spend too much money, but I usually have at least a $200 budget on clothes. Gifts, I plan out to give out at least $250 a month. And then travel fund, that kind of varies from month to month, but I try to put away at least $400. And when this pot gets big, then that's when I use it for traveling. And then I have another pocket also for traveling, but that's a different story. Then miscellaneous, this is random stuff. This is like, I don't know, do you have a membership for like your PlayStation? Just random stuff, okay? There's some stuff too that maybe I might have not included, like your cell phone bill. You can add that to your personal, but miscellaneous, I'm just gonna say that's like my cell phone bill. And then personal, like getting like haircuts and all that stuff, getting your nails done. And then savings, I tell everybody to like at least save 10%. So if you add this up, well, this would be my grand total. I don't know what it is right now, but I know it's close to like $7,000, because that's really what it is. So, but the main thing for you guys, you might say, well, Mr. Martinez, how do I know what's my home mortgage? So I'm gonna show you in a little bit. You're gonna go on Zillow, and then on Zillow, you're gonna find a home. And so this is where students had a lot of fun finding a mortgage. And then for car payment, there's a lot of ways you can go about it. You can just say you don't have a car payment, but you still have to pay insurance. You can find a car online, and that's basically what you're gonna do. You're gonna find a car to pay in a home, and I'm gonna show you guys how to find the amount. So that gives you an idea on how much you're gonna spend.
Is Zillow, and in this website you can find homes in your area, and you can see how much they're valued at. Now, I searched Port Hueneme, but you guys can also search like Oxnard, Camarillo, or wherever you guys want to check out, because I know some students like out of state, and then there's probably like a city you've been to that you like. So you can type that in right there. I like to remove the boundaries so I can see all the homes that are for sale. But this gives you an idea of how much the homes go for, especially right now, like how interest rates are really high. So for this $810,000 home in Ventura, it would cost someone like to get a loan out, and it'd be $5,329. So that's what you would write down for your home if this is what you like. I tell my students, like, take their time and, find something that they like and just get an idea of how much it is right now. Now, keep in mind, these go up and down depending on what interest the market is at. In terms of a car, you can search something that you like, and then you can see the price on how much it would be per month. this is on a lease, but you can also purchase it however you want. But just you need to know how much you're going to be paying for your vehicle. Okay. All right. So back to the worksheet.
Let's move on to the back side. So not everybody gets paid 4 times a month, but I think you have to have multiple sources of income. And that's if you want to earn more money. Like, keep in mind, for me, like, I have my teaching job, I got my marketing business, I sell salsas, and then I also have my city council check. Okay, so you need to come up with like 4 checks, and then you want to add these up, and then this total, which I check, it needs to be more than this amount over here in the front. Okay. And the other thing that I teach students, this is from Robert Kawasaki. Hopefully he's okay with me telling people this and using his image on my worksheet, but it's from the cash flow quadrant. He teaches there's only 4 ways of earning money. You can trade time for money if you're an employee, meaning you work for someone else. And if you have your own business and you're self-employed, meaning like you're the one running the show, you're trading your time for money. The only time you're not trading your time for money is if you're a business owner and you actually have employees and then they're making your money. So this side is really the good side. This is where most people are at, but this is where I'm trying to get to. This is my goal. I don't mind working for time. That's fine. But I think this is where people make the most money. And then we also talked about investing in class. So you can trade your money for more money. And then there's 2 questions for you guys to answer. So go ahead and answer these questions. I don't think they're that difficult, but I did write a lot, and I did talk about this. Like, how much do you need to retire? This is calculated by the number of years you plan on staying retired and how much you spend each year. So if you spend this much money from the front, you got to multiply that. So the front page total times 12, and then you got to multiply that times however many years you want to stay retired. So let's just say at least 20. So this is your grand total. That's how much you need. Then this one, you need a game plan. Like, how do you plan on saving up for retirement? Because this amount of money, like if mine was 7 grand, 7 times 12, and then times 20. Let's see. So $7,000 is about how much I spend a month. Okay. If I multiply times 12, that's in a year. So I need at least $84,000 a year. So thankfully I earn about that much money. And then multiply times 20 years that I want to stay retired at least. So, this is $1,680,000. Okay. So 1, 2, 3. Yep. That's almost $2 million that I need to have in the bank when I retire if I want to live the way that I'm living for 20 years. Okay. So you guys want to make sure you take your time answering these questions and like really reflecting on your life and just being prepared. Because I tell students, like, it would have been so much better if I would have started saving up for retirement when I first got my job, like my very first job. And I usually teach students, like, hey, have your savings account, but also have your retirement account. These are not the same 2 accounts, 2 separate accounts. Okay. So we learn more about this in the next math class. Hopefully the counselors put you in the math class, but we're now going to move on to health. Okay, so in this class, I gave you guys some measuring tapes. If you guys don't have measuring tapes, let me know. I can provide these for you. You guys can take them home. Just make sure you guys bring them back. We have rulers too. But everybody took time measuring all their fingers, the width of their palm, their length of their palm, their wrist, and I did have them do it in centimeters this time. You measured your head, you measured your shoulders, your arm, your waist, your leg, your foot. This one you had to guess, okay? And the reason I had you guess your weight is because the next day we're going to talk about weights and we were actually going to weigh each other. So it's going to be more fun if you guess your weight and You also got to measure your arm length and your height. So there's a lot of measuring that you have to do. I think this is self-explanatory. You just need one of these, okay? This makes it so much easier. And let's turn it over. So on the back side, I guess this one's kind of simple. So basically, you are going to take a look at a nutrition facts label. At the top, it talks about servings, calories, and the nutrition, the nutrients, and then it goes by percentages. Now this is perfect because in the next math class we go over percents. But what I need you to do is find any food and Google nutrition facts label. All you got to do is copy all this stuff, okay? Google will give it to you. Some of the stuff might be missing. You might have to look for it a little bit more, but I want to know like what's the percent on the vitamins, the protein, how much. Protein is the only thing that's not going to give you a percent. Notice there's no percent. But it does tell you like the amount. So I got to have at least like the grams, the sugars. You need to fill all of this up, and then you're going to put the percents also, except for the protein. So they don't give you protein percent because it varies from person by person a lot. And then I need you to tell me why you picked that food and why. And what did you learn from these nutritional facts? Then the last thing you guys are going to do is take a look at, like, do you dance on a weekly basis? Do you walk? Do you do jump rope, cycling, swimming? These are a lot of different activities that you guys can do. And then it tells you how many calories you burn per week. So if you run, let's say 3 hours a week, just do times 3, and I need the total. Sadly, I saw a lot of students didn't do a lot of work. Walking was popular. I saw some people put like times like 5 hours of walking per week or 15. Multiply that out and see how many calories you burn. Because you have to monitor your calories and how many you burn and how much you consume if you want to keep your body looking the way that it's looking now, or if you want to look better, whatever that means, whether it means like gain weight or lose weight, then you're going to either have to consume more calories and burn less, or burn more calories and eat less calories. So this one hopefully is kind of easy for you guys. The last page, part 4, this one is not necessarily the most important measurement, because I know, look, we talked about time, we talked about money, we talked about health. I think the 4th most important one is relationships and friendships. So we talked a little bit about that at the start of class, but for this lesson, we're going to be measuring stuff, and we're going to be measuring weight and length. But there's a lot of stuff that you guys can measure. You guys can measure temperature. You can measure air pressure. You can measure pH. There's so many different metrics and things to measure. But for today, in this class, we're just going to do weight and length. It was more than enough. Unfortunately, you can't really make up the lesson, the backside of this worksheet. You had to be in class because I had all my scales and equipment, and it may not be in class, but we're still going to go over it anyway. So let's go ahead and get started. So break this down into weight and length. And then we also talked a little bit about temperature. So we'll get to that in just a bit, but all you have to do right now is just copy down the notes. An ounce, I showed students what an ounce was, but 16 ounces is a pound. 1 stone is the next step after pound. So it goes stone, pound, ounces. Actually, it goes ton, stone, pound, ounces. So, and 1 stone is equal to 14 pounds, which is a very weird number. 16, 14, like where do they get these numbers from? A pound is 16 ounces, so we have to multiply 16 times 14, and so this gives us 224 ounces. So 224 ounces is 1 stone. And a ton, which is a lot more, this is 160 stones. And so we want pounds, we multiply this times 14. That gives us 2,240. And then in ounces, I've already calculated this out and I have it memorized, but 35,840 ounces. And again, all these numbers are weird. If we do the same thing for imperial length, and just notice we have imperial system and we have metric system. Imperial system, metric system. Now, I don't understand why the United States still uses imperial weight, but it comes in handy, all right? The rest of the world uses the metric system. I'm not saying that this is perfect, but it's pretty good. And I'm not saying that this is bad because it comes through sometimes. Like I prefer using this sometimes than this. It's kind of like having an Xbox and having a PlayStation. Sometimes you want to play PlayStation, sometimes you want an Xbox, sometimes you want an iPhone, sometimes you want an Android. Like, it's a preference, but it's good to have a lot of options. So what's nice about the metric system is that the numbers are simple. 1 kilo is 1,000 grams. 1 ton is 1,000 kilograms. That means 1,000 times 1,000, that's 1 million. Okay, so 1 ton is 1,000,000 grams. And then 1 megaton is 1,000,000 tons. Okay, so I'm just going to write 1,000,000. So these are all base 10. Base 10, 100, 1,000. Basically, it's all ones with zeros. Okay, so and it's going to be the same thing like the metric and the imperial again. So you're going to get some funky numbers here, hard to memorize. Metric length, super easy. So let's just go ahead and start with the imperial length. So a foot is 12 inches. Okay, so we haven't seen a 12 yet over there, but now we start off with 12. 1 yard is 3 feet, and then that means 1 yard is 36 inches. 1 mile is 1,760 yards, and then 1 mile is also 5,280 feet. Okay. It's not a bad thing, okay? It's just it is what it is. But I do think that the reason like the imperial numbers were weird is because, like, for example, when they first used the foot, it was an estimate for like a foot. And I just remember like a funny story where like a king said, "Hey, I want you to build me a bed." And then the guy asked him, "Well, how long do you want the bed to be?" He's like, "Oh, I want it to be 8 feet." But the guy that was building the bed, he had like a small foot, and so he made the king a smaller bed, and so the king got mad at him and basically, killed him. All right. So I don't know if it's true or not, like the story, but all I'm saying is that's why these numbers I think are kind of weird. They're just a little off. Metric system, super easy. 1 centimeter, I think, is 10 millimeters. 1 meter is 100 centimeters. 1 meter is 1,000 millimeters. 1 kilometer is 1,000 meters. Okay, super simple. Temperatures, we also have Celsius and we have Fahrenheit. They're very, very different. This is what the US uses, okay? And this is what the world uses. But I think both of them are good. For example, oven, most people just cook at 350. That's Fahrenheit. Well, how much is that in Celsius? 175. So if you have your oven set to the wrong type of reading, you might think like, oh, 175 is not a lot, but it turns out it's a lot. It's 350. So make sure you always know, like, is it in Celsius or is it in Fahrenheit? When you're traveling, you're going to notice that the numbers might look off. But what is good about Celsius is, like, when it comes to water boiling, it's 100 degrees Celsius. In Fahrenheit, water boils at 212. A hot bath is at 104. This is at 40. And then our body temperature is 98.6 degrees. And then over here it's 37 degrees. So just some differences for you to note. Very, very different. So we took notes here in the front, but in the back, this is the part where I just don't think you can do this unless I have all the stations in class. But we were measuring carats, which is what for diamonds, kilograms, pounds, grams, ounces, and then we also had a station for rulers. But you and your partner were basically moving around from station to station to station to station, and you had to look at the items. Like, I think the first one for the carrot was a paper clip, and you had to guess how many carrots you thought a paper clip was, and you do one at a time. So you guess, and then so I'm just gonna say like, oh, 1 carrot, and then it was actually like 2.5 or whatever. And then now the next item, I think I can't remember what it was. It was a pin. So now that you basically hold the pin in your hand and you're like, oh, okay, well, this was the paper clip, this is the pin, I thought this was 1, but it was really 2.5. So then this should be, and then you guess, okay, and then you take the actual item and you put it on the scale, and so it might be more, it might be less. I think students kept getting closer as they kept going. Okay, so this was a fun activity, but I want you guys to note that there are so many things for you guys to measure in life, and these are some of the things that I think are important. But there's so many different things for you guys to measure, and one of the quotes that I say is, you cannot manage, meaning you cannot control what you don't measure. So you can't manage what you don't measure. So you have to be measuring. You have to measure how you're spending your money. You have to measure how you're spending your time. You have to measure basically everything if you want to control all of those variables. If you want to control how much money's in your bank, you got to measure it. You want to control how you're spending your time, you got to measure it. You have to pay attention. You have to see it. You have to it's not a ruler, okay? Some of those things you don't measure with rulers, but you have to invest some time. And I think a lot of people don't think about stuff like this, and this is why I'm having you guys do this. And I hope you guys enjoyed this lesson. Thankfully, this video is like a little bit shorter. But yeah, man, I care about you guys, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Go ahead and give it a thumbs up, a like. If you guys want to write a comment, that'd be cool. If you want to subscribe to the channel, maybe you guys can keep track of me like while I'm teaching. I don't know how many years I'm going to be teaching, but I'm going to be uploading videos to this channel at least while I'm here as teacher at Oxnard Union High School District. All right. Thanks for watching, you guys. Have a nice day. Take care. Bye.